Hey, and thanks for that. I love seeing the donation come in the second we go live. That's awesome. Thanks for tuning in. This is DeProgram with Ted Rall and Jamarl Thomas. It's Monday, August 24th, 2026. Not the regular show. I guess you could say it's a regular show. It's the Q&A show. It's the 12 noon edition. We do this twice a day on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And this is the second half of the Monday show. Thanks for tuning in. Please like, follow, and share. Please donate and support the show. Please, 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 please become a subscriber. We need you to do that. I'm putting up the levels right now. If you're on YouTube, it's basically $5, $10, and $20 a month are the levels. And basically everything is pretty self-explanatory there. Oh, I can't believe did I erase? I think I accidentally erased my levels banner. I'll have to rewrite that. Anyway, we'll put that all up later. We have the Patreon up if people want to check that out. It's just go search for DeProgram Podcast on Patreon, one word, and you will find it. That is a way to support the show. If you don't want to do it through one of the other media, you can also do it. You can also through there. You can donate via PayPal and do a regular subscription setup via PayPal. We get pretty much all of that money if you do that. So you just go to the Patreon page and you'll see donate via PayPal, and it's very straightforward. Lots of they have a good infrastructure for doing that. Anyway, JT, I got to tell you, I've been getting flooded by comments from people who are upset about Robby's son joining the Marines. And also, I got to tell you, his son is 17 and he doesn't need parental approval under the law to enlist in the Marines. So he's a rising senior. He'll be a senior in a couple of weeks there at school in Montana. He can enlist. He's locked in. And when he graduates, he has to go wherever they send him. I mean, they shouldn't be able to do that without parental approval. He's a child.
Our government doesn't care. They need people. And I mean, at the end of the day, in most countries, the two of y'all have traveled. A lot of places around the world, if you're 17 years old, you're considered a grown adult.
Sure.
It's here in the West where you're treated like a perpetual child up to the age of 25. So I mean,
30.
So I'm cognizant of that fact. And Wes, Thomas is he's grown. If he lived anywhere other than here, depending on where he was, he'd probably be married, maybe have kids by now. I mean, he'd be responsible for managing his household. And I've taught him from a very early age, is coming back to bite me, is that you are your own person. You are the captain of your ship. You have the right to make the choices that you want to make. That is your right as a free man.
True.
And that's the choice he's making. He is a free man, and he has decided that he wants
not free enough to drive a car in most states. Not
here in Montana, you get a driver's license at 14.
Okay, well, in New York, he would not even be able to get a learner's permit, probably. And not enough to buy legal cannabis, not enough to order a beer, not enough to get, I mean, come on. You're 18, he can't vote. He can't vote.
Yeah, I get it.
Vote for or against the politicians who may or may not send him to war.
I get it. And these are all things that I've told him. And I do not beg. I'll do a lot of things. I will never beg. And I was begging him, son, do not do this. Do not do this.
The problem is
he wants to.
Age, people think that they're their own people at that age, and they're not.
I did.
No, honestly. I mean, they think they are. Yeah. But just because you think something doesn't necessarily mean it's true. I mean, there's all sorts of control efforts and mechanisms that are enacted on people. And as you point out, the government is using his ignorance of what the military is and what the government does and how the government processes in order to get a body into a uniform that it can effectively turn into a slave to either kill or to die. I mean, I agree with you, Ted. I mean, the fact of the matter is, if people were older, they may be smart enough to realize I don't necessarily want to go into this criminal psychopath run unit. I mean, let's be very clear. People are writing on wings on airplanes, Israel's bitch, Bibi's war. etc., getting across that they don't even believe that their government is being run by their own government, but it's being run by a foreign settler colonial colony of squatters that has been murdering and killing in mass for over a year. Like, think about that. Like, meaning you're joining something that the people who are already in it don't believe that the government itself is controlling. Why would you want to join that? But again, at 17, you think you know everything. And, hard head, soft ass.
Well, it's cool. I mean, a lot of this has to do with the cool factor. You're able to go in, you sell the stuff about the military. One thing this country still does well, cool about it. It's neat.
What's cool about it?
Well, because you're able to have the uniform, you're able to go to see the world. Your rifle is your passport. You're defending your country. You're wrapping yourself around in the flag. And
defending your country from who?
Well, that's the $1 million question, right? That's the question nobody can answer. Thomas is like, well, I guess the Russians and the Iranians. It's like neither one of them are our enemies. I said, if we lived in a rational world, Russia would be a natural ally of the United States.
He wants to go and fight the Russians.
He does, and the Iranians. He wants to go and be Uncle Sam's guy.
And he thinks he's going to live through that.
He's 16. Okay. You're 17 tomorrow. I mean, you're that age.
I mean,
you think you're immortal.
Yeah, he's a child. He's a child soldier.
I gotta say, I don't understand what's cool. I mean, I get I guess shooting guns is cool, but
you can do that in Montana.
Yeah, exactly what I was just gonna say. And this is not really you can. It's not like a free fire zone. It's you're doing you're going where they tell you. If they say hey, we're now at war with Belgium, then you go to Belgium and kill Belgium and you kill Belgians. I mean, and the thing is, I don't see the cool factor. I mean, I remember being 16 very vividly and being told what to do and sort of being just ordered around. I didn't like it in school. So why would you choose? The military is literally the most hard ass employer you could possibly have. You can quit a regular job if you don't like your boss at the supermarket. You can be bye, I'm going to go work at the market across town.
Like slavery or indentured servitude or something.
It's indentured servitude. I mean, they literally inject you with drugs, whether you like it or not. They will tell you at boot camp, you are now the property of the United States government. And they're right.
There's a couple of people in the chat who are saying that you, Ted, are more angry about this than I am. I can assure you, I'm furious. I'm trying to do a good job of hiding it.
And you're also probably kind of beaten down by it too, because it's your kid. It's different when it's your kid. You kind of ask yourself, where did I go wrong? Right? I mean,
how did I fuck this up?
Well, yeah. I mean, no. Over the weekend, I said no. We went to Glacier Park. I took them up to the crown of the continent. I took them up to Logan Pass. We went to the visitor center, and you can see. I mean, you can see into Idaho. You can see into Canada. You can see as far. You can see down to Missoula. I mean, it's huge. It's a panoramic. And Thomas was like, I'm going to miss this. I said, then why are you leaving it?
What did he think about the USS Abraham Lincoln?
He doesn't think it's real. He thinks it's all fake. He thinks it's propaganda spread by anti-American forces.
It's spread by the sailors and their own military families.
He doesn't believe it. He does not believe it.
If it wasn't true, they wouldn't be bringing the ship back now.
He does not believe it.
Why? I don't understand why he doesn't believe it.
Because he thinks it's all propaganda.
So he basically just sees things the way he wants to see things. Reality doesn't.
He thinks I am a Russian propagandist. When we got into this, a big argument. He said, you literally call yourself Putin bot. I said, correct, because it was a joke. It was me trolling people, accusing me of being a Russian bot because Hillary Clinton wanted to take us into war against Russia, which, by the way, Trump did. He's the one to start arming the Ukrainians with lethal weapons. Trump owns that. Trump has taken us into war against Iran. So far, the two wars that this buffoon has started, he's lost them both. And I'm the one that's a traitor. I'm the propagandist. I'm the guy who's provided a roof over your head every day of your life, who's made sure you have 3 hots in the cot, who made sure you have a better life than I ever had, who's given you every advantage I could possibly give you, who's done my very best to be a father to you, to be a role model to you, not to make the mistakes that my father made with me, to try to give you a better future. And then you're going to look at me and say, you, Dad, are a Russian propagandist and a traitor to the country. That
They just
hurts.
never had
And so
kids.
for the and so
That's why I never had
if
kids.
you think I'm not angry from the bottom of my heart, fuck you.
Yeah. This is why I never had kids. I didn't want to deal with that shit.
They break your heart.
It's
I didn't want to
well,
deal
the
with it.
problem is that they have their own mind.
Exactly.
And so, people say, well,
Exactly.
I've had this before, Robbie. The reason why your kids are Christians is because you brainwashed them. Well, evidently not. Evidently, I failed because one was going to join the military to go fight for Israel. So, remind me again how I brainwashed anybody. Everyone has agency, and he has the right to say, "Dad, I do not agree with you, and I'm going to do this."
I mean,
And the only thing I can do is get on my knees and pray and beg God not to kill my son.
I could do this all day long, but I mean, could you? What about the argument that, like, okay, the military is the military as it currently is constituted, and let's stipulate for the sake of argument that you're okay or even happy about our politicians and the current wars that we're into and our current policies, but it's a blank check. So if, let's say, we have President AOC, those policies probably will change. If you have President Ted Rall, those policies will certainly change. I mean, isn't there something about his autonomy that scares him about, like, you have to go and do whatever these people who you may not have even ever heard of yet, who are not yet even running for president, are going to run for president in the future and be elected, and they have ideas that you may or may not agree with, and they decide whether who you go to shoot and kill and who might try to kill you. I mean, it's
It
like
doesn't.
that blank check aspect is the main reason why no one should join any institution like the military.
He looks at this as a way for him, because it's him and a few other boys here in town. They're going to go join together under this buddy system, and they're going to be able to serve together and be able to do all these things. And they're playing on the education, the social mobility. That's a lie, by the way. It
That's a
doesn't
lie.
exist. It's not there,
Yeah.
but they think it is. In their mind, they think it is. Be able to go and serve with your friends and have this global adventure. And meanwhile, when I've talked to him, he said, "Well, Dad, if you're president, what would you do? If you were the king of America, what would you do?" I said, "I would make peace with Iran and Russia today, and I would restore full diplomatic relations with them, and start trading with them and be their friends." He said, "So then you would surrender." I said, "What did I say I would surrender?
That's so dumb. That's so dumb.
How is that surrender?"
That's
I
so
said,
dumb.
having good relations with another country and having commerce and trade. He was like, "Well, Dad, would you go to Iran?" I said, "In a heartbeat. I would love to go to Iran. I would go visit these places." And I said, "No." I said, "If you join the military," I said, "sure, you'll be able to travel a lot more than what I had, but your passports will be a rifle, and your life is not going to be your own."
It's
And
amazing that he has no experience with anything, and yet he
he
knows
knows
everything.
everything. He knows everything.
That's weird.
Like every other
Like, it doesn't
teenager.
even settle. Like, it doesn't even
Has he been
like
to?
it doesn't even like there's not even self-awareness of
I
I
have to
don't know
make.
what I don't know.
I have to stay on him and make him clean up his room, but he's going to solve the world's problems.
Has he been overseas at all?
No.
Has he been? I mean, so he doesn't even know, like, sort of like. I mean, it's one thing to know that there are other countries. It's another to actually go there and realize, A, these people are really real, right?
Yeah,
right. They're real. They're real like I am. And then B, to be like, and also there are cultural differences, and there's things that we're not going to be able to dominate because they have their own things, and we're not better than they are.
And more to the point of I want to go and murder people just seems mind-blowing.
People who've done me no harm.
No harm. I've done nothing to.
No ill will.
That's just wild to me.
I mean, some
Like,
of the
even
biggest.
when I was a kid and wasn't necessarily like in politics, never occurred to me that I wanted to go.
They don't really believe it. They don't think it's really. I think it's like it's not real to them in their brain.
But it's real people. When you're in Egypt,
don't really think
there are
like
real people in Egypt. They, drink tea, they drink coffee, they smoke hookah, they have wives and families and kids, and they love their kids every bit
They
as much
make
as we love our
jokes.
kids.
They watch movies. Yeah.
Yeah, all of that stuff. They have fun. They like porn, for
Right.
God's sake. I mean, like, they're just people.
Yeah, Thomas is like, "Well, Dad is like, Dad, what is it that you want me to do?" I said, I want you to find yourself. I want you to find yourself a wife, get married, have kids, and build a life for yourself right here. Learn how to be a welder, be a carpenter, be an electrician, be a mechanic, be a fucking janitor. So for you, those of you in the
That's
chat,
honorable.
no, I mean this. Listen, if I'm coming across as being mean, I apologize.
Yeah,
But how dare you say that I'm not angry?
Yeah,
You don't know me.
Look, I
If you
think
think I'm not angry about this, so from the bottom of my heart, go fuck yourself.
Robby, in fairness to the poster, I get that because I also have kind of like a laconic delivery. When I was looking when I found one of my first lawyers for the LA Times suit, I had like talked literally to over 50 attorneys in through intake, and you go through hours of interviews going over every detail of the case, and part of it is the lawyer is kind of checking you out to see how you would behave on the stand and stuff, and how you would come across to a jury. And I had this lawyer, and he said, at one point he goes, "You don't seem that angry," and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I'm enraged, but at this point, I'm also fucking exhausted because I've been telling this story over and over again, and I was like, and he wanted, and I realized, oh, now I have to show him I'm angry to sell this, right? And I did, and he took my case. But the point is, it's like people often confuse like you're not screaming and frothing at the mouth with like non-anger.
Well, the thing is,
dude, I've had this conversation with my kid. We live this. We've gone through this. Why do I need to put on theatrics for you and right? It's like, why wouldn't I be angry in this process?
That's right.
Well, the thing is, growing up, especially when I was a young man, I was very angry. Like I would fight at the drop of a hat. I was a very angry person because of the way I grew up. I mean, just you got to be to survive, and I don't want to be that person. And so I do my best to hang. I do my best to hang on to that anger with both hands and never let it out because it scares the hell out of me whenever I become what I used to be.
See, I was an easy kid, I think. Like, I think I became more difficult as I got older. But not for any negative reason, just because I was independent in a way that was off-putting.
Well, whenever you're homeless, really you have two options. You either get mad or you just get depressed and you just feel defeated. If you get defeated, then that's how you get the drugs and alcohol, and suicide starts looking like an option. I've thought about it. It'd be nice just opt out, just call this thing a day. And the way that I got over it is I got mad and I stayed mad. And being anger, it's kind of like that episode with Kirk, when the Transformer accident happened, or the teleporter, and he got split in that good and that evil half.
Yeah.
That's me.
The good half would have jumped off the roof.
Yeah. And so,
angry half.
I mean, that's why if I lose control, you don't want to be around me. It's not a good place to be.
That. Totally.
By the way, speaking of suicide, did you see the David Chappelle joke on suicide? It shit was so funny. I didn't know this. Well, I guess I didn't know it. Anthony Bourdain hung himself.
Yeah.
And he hung himself in Paris, of all places.
Mm-hmm.
He had a job, and this is Chappelle's basically the premise of the joke. Anthony Bourdain had a job where he went around, ate amazing food, talked to amazing people, and still ended up hanging himself in a luxury hotel in Paris.
He was a coxman too.
Yeah. David Chappelle was talking about a friend of his that was in law school and apparently got married in law school. And David Chappelle was like, dude, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't get married in law school, right? You made it from the hood. You made it from nothing. You got into this Ivy League school. Do your work. You can marry her later. He gets married in law school. They get a divorce in law school. She takes him for everything that he's worth, which was basically nothing. And David Chappelle said, like, let's say 30 years later, he's at a Foot Locker. And look who he sees working at Foot Locker with the entire uniform and everything else on was his friend that basically went through the divorce. Mm-hmm. And he had been living with his mom for like a decade or more. His life was going bad. And David Chappelle pointed out at no point did he consider suicide.
Right.
That's so wrong. That's so wrong, but it's true. Like how, like you would think that Anthony Bourdain, whatever's going on in his life, whatever demons he's fighting, we don't necessarily know, right? That stuff is internal. But we see luxury hotel, great food, suicide, rich man. And yet this other guy who went through all of this other stuff, at no point was that an option for him. Or did he consider it an option?
Well, it's a choice. I mean, it's to me
It's a
surrender.
choice.
To me, suicide is the ultimate form of surrender.
What depends?
It's the abandonment of responsibility, and it's just saying no. It's surrender. It's just I can't do this anymore. I'm just going to opt out. And whenever I was and then when I was growing up, I remember this one time. My dad just beat the ever living hell out of me, and he's like, "Boy, let me tell you something." He said, "You ain't going to be nothing but white trash, just like me."
My grandpa told me.
And I looked him in the eye and said, "Daddy, I ain't never gonna be nothing like you. I'll be nothing like you."
You know, it's funny. My grandfather said something very similar to me one day. I was, well, he didn't say white trash. That would have been very strange. Boy, you ain't gonna be nothing but white trash. You're like, what? What the hell is that?
Like, wait,
I mean, he's an alcoholic, so who the hell knows, right?
Yeah.
But I was riding my bike one day and I accidentally ran into the car. And it was like dramatic. Like you hit the car and you like fall over and you flail off and everything else.
I've done that. I know what that's like. Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, it sucks, right? So despite the humiliation, I pull myself up. And he's right there. He says, "Boy, you ain't never going to be nothing. Or you're never going to be the man that I am." This is a raging alcoholic.
Of course, the correct answer is, I hope so. I hope not.
Yeah, and that's what I said. Basically, I was like, I hope so. I hope so. I hope you're right. Hope you're right.
By the way, this is kind of an oblique version of your story. One time, my father and I, we hadn't seen each other in years, and we were attempting to reconcile, and we spent like the weekend together in a corporate hotel and out on the outskirts of on the I-270 Columbus bypass, trying to work things out. And one time he's like trying to give me some, he was notoriously cheap. And so we were talking about that, and he was trying to explain how he got to be that way. Because I was like, you're from a rich family, right? Like you were like really well off. So it's not like you're from the world, though, I grew up in a school of hard knocks, and now it was tough for me and I wanted to be tough for my son. That's not true at all, right? So it's kind of like he used to say, "Oh, I grew up in the Depression." I was like, and I'd be like, "You grew up during the Depression, not in the Depression." And
Right.
And so he told this story. It's a great story. He said that like this was his origin story for his tightwatery. So he wanted a bike that was, this dates the story, that was in the Sears Roebuck catalog, a Schwinn. And so finally his parents are like, "We're going to get you that bike for your birthday." So he's so excited. So this is, the 1930s. And so every day he runs out to see if the mailman, if the I don't think they had UPS, when the mail truck came, if it was on board. Never was. Finally, the day arrives. The bike is there. And so his father, my grandfather, spends the afternoon putting it together, taking it out of the box, putting it together. And his little neighbor, his kid who he was kind of friends with, but not really close to, is watching and hanging out, watching the whole procedure. Like, we'll call him Little Timmy, right? So when the bike's all together, little Timmy tells my dad, he's like, "Please, please, please, it's so cool. Let me ride your bike." And my father's like, "No." And by the way, rightly so, right? Like, "No, it's my bike." Like, "No." And his mother comes out and goes, "Now, Fred, you have to share." And he's like, "I don't want to share." It's like, "It's my bike. I've been waiting months." It's like, "No, you have to share. Let little Timmy ride your bike." And so my grandfather is like, dutifully, he's like, "That's right, Fred. You go and do that." So Little Oak Park, Illinois, little Timmy gets on my dad's bike, races off down the street, right? Disappears around the corner at top speed. He's gone for what seems like forever. Then he reappears coming the opposite direction at full speed and slams right into his father's car.
What?
Crumples the bike.
What?
Destroys the bike. And he's like, and he's like, well, you can see the lesson I learned. And I was like,
don't share.
yeah. And I was like, well, actually, the lesson is that and so here's the thing. His parents, they never ordered another bike to replace it, right?
Oh, that's
Like,
fuck.
so the lesson was your parents are assholes. Okay,
Yeah.
that's the lesson. The lesson is not don't share. Like, if you'd had 3,000 rides on your bike, it might be reasonable to let your friend take a spin on it, but like not on the virgin outing.
They should have sued his parents.
I know.
I'm serious.
I know. Well, it was the 30s. You didn't do shit like that. You settled stuff with your fists.
Yeah, but you still don't have a bike at the end of the fist fight. Right?
That's true. That's true.
It's like I could beat the shit out of little Timmy, but I'm still out of a bike. It's not making me feel
Little Timmy deserves death, as far as I'm concerned.
That's so wrong. It's like you gotta share.
It's so wrong. Yeah.
No, it's funny. I mean, just to show you just peak hypocrisy. And my son, he left a little bit ago. He's only going to help a fellow at church. Is 80, Marine Corps veteran, Vietnam vet. Talking about how great of a time it was, how much he enjoyed it. So he's over there doing some work for him right now. And he's like, Dad, tomorrow I turn 18. If I give you the money, will you buy me a rifle? So I want you to think about this, what you just asked. The government that you want to go mortgage your life for says you're too irresponsible to buy yourself a hunting rifle. Mm-hmm. So you need me to do it, the guy who you just called a traitor, because your government does not trust you with a 30-06 rifle. But they're willing to put you in a uniform and ship you off to the Middle East to get blown up by Iranian drones. And I never cussed at my son. I said, are you fucking stupid?
They're ballistic missiles also, Robby. Just to know.
Yeah, look, seriously. I'm no, I mean, and Thomas is a good kid, and like, he's smart. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, he's
wicked, much smarter than I am.
But he's
a smart guy.
But he's not 25. His brain's not fully formed.
No, and he is completely bought in with the mythology that America is still the good guys.
God, yeah,
I do not know how to fix that.
All right,
I don't know how to fix that.
Let's see some comments and questions. We're a half hour in. All right, guys, this is the Q&A show, which means it's Q&A time. We're going to go through and go through your comments very quickly here. Okay. Okay. All right, here we go. Inexplicably, a donation of $14.334328 US. I assume that's translated from something. I'm trying to figure out. No, is that pi? Oh, it's pi. No. Yeah, it's pi.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Isn't it? No, wait, it's not right. Isn't pi 1.415?
Yeah, 1.43.
Yeah, okay.
It's like 1.438 something. Blah 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 blah.
Okay, so Dead Mean Club, sort of pi, a scant, pi-esque. Yeah, Ted, have you ever ate ortolan? I don't even know what that is.
What?
Also, what is it?
I don't know what that is.
Why are French people offended by being called frogs? Most French people,
like Pepe Le Pew. Pepe Le Pew. Is that one?
They're not terribly offended by being called frogs.
Pepe Le Pew.
I mean, I'm not an expert on all things French. Let's see. According to this, the ortolan is a small Eurasian songbird. Eating it. Famous in French gastronomy as an extreme luxury dish.
Eating a bird.
It's like how the Romans ate like little birds and stuff.
But they eat pigeon in Egypt. It was actually quite good. It's like chicken. It fills the stomach.
FUSO, no, I haven't. FUSO, when I was in the Army back in 1980, one could get Article 15 for getting a bad sunburn for destruction of government property, i.e., you are the government property.
Yep. Go kill or go die.
Wow.
Ultimate powers.
Trent Gizone Thank you for 8 months of membership. Robby, remember that he's a teenager, and all teenagers think they're right about everything. You've been a great father, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm a personal witness to that. This is not your fault, but it's like you can't help but question yourself. Effie said, I was an undiagnosed Asperger's and raised by a narcissist mother. I was so severely bullied. I was going to jump off a freeway overpass in the 6th grade after years of abuse. And I'm glad you did not. I mean, the way I look at it is you'll have plenty of time to be dead. There's no rush.
Well, I'm just curious as to why he didn't. Like, if he was going to do it, what stopped him?
I don't know.
Or did anything stop him?
When I was expelled from college, I took the elevator up to the roof of my dorm and stepped up onto the ledge and tried to will myself the courage to jump off the 20th floor, but I didn't do it. I literally just kept thinking about how much it was going to hurt to hit that sidewalk, even if it was just for a fraction of a second.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's see. Thanks for the $5 from Ben Ross. Would the DeProgram show be open to producing or collaborating on some current affairs content? What's the best way to talk directly? Sure. We're always open to suggestions like that.
Wait, what does that mean?
I don't know what that means.
It means calling into the show or talking after the show about production stuff? Yeah, no. I mean, that sounds like an email.
Yeah,
that just sounds like an email.
I'm putting the email up right now. deprogrampodcast@gmail.com. That's deprogrampodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, that sounds like an email.
Very easy. I will check the email. Okay. Victor Brown, I've always felt that Robby is an angry person from how he talks, his intonation. He's always aggressive.
I think he's trying to say that convert down to the kid. Is that what he's trying to imply?
Oh, I don't know what the implication there is. Maybe. I mean,
I don't know. I mean, am I angry about the way that our government treats our people? Yeah. Am I angry about our government going through and waging undeclared wars and killing hundreds of thousands of people for profit? Yeah, I'm angry about that.
I know, Robby, but I think he's making the point that one is political. The other one, like, basically, I have no idea what you are when you're at home alone by yourself and whether or not you are, quote, angry in the way that the person is referencing. It sounds like he's trying to reference. I mean, I don't know his implication, so I'm not going to play into it. But I don't know his implication.
I'm not really sure. I mean, one thing I can tell you, and Ted, I'm sure you can probably pick up on this, and other people, I mean, who grew up with in an abusive home, you either get depressed or you get mad. It's one of those two. That seems to be the binary choice. Like, no one ever just says, "Okay, this is cool. I just keep on through it." I mean, there's always going to be that reaction. And so whenever I said when I was younger that I leaned into anger, that was a very conscious choice. I mean, but the day I left home, I picked up a rifle. I was looking at my dad, who was passed out on the couch, and I was like, if I don't leave, I am going to shoot him.
Let me ask you this.
That's not an act of a depressed person. That's an act of someone who is just pissed off at the world but I had enough rationality to say, okay, I need to go. So that's
aside from this issue with the military, how do you get along with Thomas?
Great. I mean, we have our political debates. I mean, he is a member of. Well, he's not a member. He's under 18, but he works for the Republican Party here in Montana. He's very active with quote unquote conservative causes and stuff. So I mean, he's very much on your traditional Republican apple pie eating, the flag waving spectrum, whereas I obviously am not. I'm more of isolationist and actually an American first kind of guy.
And so, going to have to recognize that, you have to love something, warts and all. You can't just make shit up about it. Like, if you're going to love your country like that, you got to love it, warts and all. You got to accept. It's like if you have a wife, right? You can't pretend that the wife is, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's just like, the rest of the world just needs us to America lead. They need to get out of the way. I said, well, that's not how this works. And so, what you're describing is a fantasy.
That's what I mean, right? Like, this is he's been nowhere. Act like he knows all this shit. This is the funniest thing in the world to me. All of it's wrong. None of it's true.
Of course it is.
Like
So I
these
mean
are fantasies.
yeah.
These
So I
aren't
mean,
real.
listen, I'm further to the right than Thomas is.
Yeah.
But he's definitely more of a nationalist than what I am.
Yeah.
So for me, my touchstone is my religion. Like everything scales down from that. Just first, what does the Bible say? Is it right or wrong according to Scripture? And that's the lens that everything goes through. Like that is the cornerstone of my identity. For Thomas, at least him being 17, it's the mythology of the United States and of the flag.
Yeah.
And so for him, that's the lens that everything goes through. That's one of the reasons why I told him, you know, if I ever had the chance to go travel and go live in China or in Kazakhstan or Ecuador or anywhere else, I would do my best to be a good neighbor, learn the language, learn the culture, and try to get along with people as well as I can, because I know America's not the shining city on the hill, because I've ate garbage out of dumpsters. You, sir, never have.
Right.
This country has never failed you the way it has me. This country you've never missed a meal in your life. You've never had a hard day in your life. You don't know what life actually is. You don't know what pain is. You don't know what fear is. You don't know what uncertainty is. You don't know what responsibilities are. You know nothing. But you're going to lecture me about how great the United States government is. Meanwhile, this government, and I nailed him on this, is you say you're pro-life, but you have no problem at all with our government starving people to death with sanctions, dropping bombs on people.
Yep.
I said, you are a hypocrite of the highest fucking order.
This sounds like one of the conversations I will have with my ex-girlfriend, and it is maddening.
And I'm trying. Listen, I'm trying hard not to cuss right now, but I am.
No, you're fine.
I may not look it, but I'm telling you, y'all have no idea how mad I am.
Oh,
well, I guess
I have a lot of idea.
That's what I'm saying. With the ex, it's very frustrating. Like you're talking to somebody that you know is a flat fat, knows nothing about the subject matter. And it's like, you're arguing with me. You don't know anything about this. And I know you don't know anything about this. Mm-hmm. And it escalates, right? Because it's like, how are you telling me when I cover this and you don't? You looked up Google and the AI told you something. You ran with it. That's just frustrating, man. I get it.
Well, you know, part of the problem here is, and I have not ranted about this in a while. I used to talk about it all the time. Politics is one of those things in the United States where everyone's entitled to their fucking opinion, whether it's informed or not. Like, you know, there's no other field like that. Like if you met someone who collected model trains and you don't know anything about it and you want to talk about it, pretty much like my position is like, well, I'm going to ask questions because I don't know anything about it.
Right.
But like, I'm not going to Lionel splain to like a person who's been collecting and studying model trains for 40 years. Right. But in politics, we can be here every day living and breathing this shit. And like, we know, I mean, it's not, are we smarter than everyone else? No. But are we better informed than most? Yes. That's why we do this. That's why people come and watch it. I mean, it's our area of expertise. It's our lives. And so it's kind of like, does that mean that we're always right and that the people who disagree with us are always wrong? No. But it's kind of like if you aren't well informed and you know it, then you probably just don't come to this fight because we're well armed. And you're not. And you probably just need to study up before you come and talk to us about it.
See, that's where ideology comes into play, because ideology doesn't require you to know shit. You only just repeat ideology. It's the talking points, right? America is great. America is awesome. We're the leaders of the world. We're blah, blah, blah. None of that shit is true. This is like Nazi Germany just making shit up about itself.
Those words don't mean anything.
They don't mean anything. We're exceptional. We're this, we're that. It's like, okay, calm down. The real world is a different place. And, the fact that the people are on the boat and the response to it is effectively, now, there was, it puts you in mind of the scientist that's on the aircraft and they see a UFO and everybody's like looking out the window at the UFO and they land on the ground, and then they ask people, what did they see? And they get to a psychologist, and he was like, hey, what did you see? He's like, nothing. Why not? I didn't look because I don't believe in UFOs. like, really? Is that how you made that work?
Yeah, but UFOs might believe in you, right?
Right. So them getting somebody's ass later on at that night. No, it's frustrating. It's aggravating. I mean, even hearing it, it's frustrating. I am frustrated listening to Robby talk about it just because of how diluted it is. It's like, hey, you see how they're treating the sailors on the boat? La 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 la. That's propaganda from their families. Yes, it's propaganda from their families. Why would their families make up the propaganda like that? They hit Diego Garcia. The reporting was apt. 2,200 miles. It's rational, right? The United States has to set up areas where it gets food and resources and supplies. It's called logistics. It's how it maintains its war footing. The logistics is usually somewhere around the fact where they're doing the war. Iran hits the logistics, creating a problem. Like, this is rational, right? This is not like, oh my God, this takes calculus to understand it. No, if you have to go 2,200 miles in order to get food and supplies, this food and supplies may be spoiled by the time you get it back, especially if your boat has been out there for 9 months. Why do you think that people wouldn't have health or issues when, and I don't mean to attack Thomas, and I'm not attacking him, but I strongly suspect that many of the people on the boat are like him. That
sure
they're not accustomed to war. They're not accustomed to this stuff. And so the moment that, oh my God, I can't have my cappuccino when I'm murdering Iranians. How do you expect me to push buttons to kill people when I can't get my steak in the way that I'm normally having my steak? Mm-hmm. Usually on submarines and those boats, they eat the best out of the military. Mm-hmm. And so when they're complaining about, oh, this is gruel, where's my steak dinner? Where's my salmon and béarnaise sauce or whatever the hell they put on it? I need that if you need me to kill people effectively. Okay, they're not making that up, right? When Hegseth is like, well, they got to get over it. They're in the military. They're supposed to be fighting wars. He kind of has a point. Kind of. He's an asshole, but he kind of has a point. It's like if this was a war, not of choice, but a war of necessity, because the United States was being attacked, and those people were on that boat holding the line, I guarantee you they would not be complaining, nor would there be complaints sent back to the United States run in the media. It is because it's a war of choice. And the family members are like, God, man, in this war of choice, you can at least make sure my family member has something to eat, or that my family member is not tweaking and trying to jump off of a goddamn boat. It's like, it's amazing to me that you look at that story and think to yourself, nah, they're just making that up.
Yeah, well,
why would they make that up?
Well, he thinks it's Iranian propaganda. And I mean, really, at the end of the day, though,
it's coming out of American families.
But he doesn't believe that. That's what I'm telling you.
I do not believe that. The magazine that ran it was a military magazine.
Because he thinks it's all coming out of Bachman's story. Listen, I get it. I understand. But I mean, listen, at the end of the day, it's his choice. I mean, he's able to do this.
Sorry, my whole point is, this is why I'm saying it is frustrating even to have this conversation with in the distance. Like, it's the echo of the conversation that you've had. And even that is frustrating.
Yeah, no, it's because it's so irrational. I mean, your son's not a retard. And so it's kind of like he should be able to, but this is a retard move.
Because what he thinks is that the only way he can get ahead in life is by going into the military and getting this education. And the only thing that I can do as his father is pray for him. Don't push him. I can't. If he's going to do this, blowing up the relationship with him doesn't make a difference.
College or university, you guys don't make a lot of money. In fact, the best college and university he can get into, let's say he gets into an Ivy, they'll give him a full ride. I mean, that's literally, you pay the more expensive the sticker price is on an American college, the less you will actually pay because they have so much financial aid in their endowments. Harvard, you get a full ride. Yale,
listen,
you get a full ride.
I told Thomas, I said, what you should do is that you should 100% play the race card, apply as a black man in a predominantly white state, 100%. I told him, play the race card, go in there, so grow your hair out.
You just tell the truth, right? You check both the black and the white box, right? I mean,
but at the end of the day, though, this is what he wants to do.
Yeah.
And I'm not.
But he's a child. He's not even 18 years old. And I mean, and the other thing is, I mean,
Well,
what I don't
short
get
of
is
chaining
that
him to a tree, Ted, I cannot stop him.
my mother taught me. God knows she had her sins. We talk about them here on the show. We just did. But my mom taught me to to believe experts, right? So, like if I wanted to sue somebody, I'd she's like, call a lawyer and see what the lawyer says. If the lawyer's like, you're going to probably lose, then walk away and thank him for his help. And if he's like, no, let's go kick their ass, let's go do it, right? And like it's similarly. Like I remember I was a musician. I was a jazz musician until I was like in high school, and I was pretty good. I mean, to the point where the suggestion was afoot that I should go professional. So my mom didn't really have any opinion about this, and she drove me to Chicago to go to jazz clubs, and we buttonholed some of the performers after they played. And what's your life like? How much do you make? What's it like to be a professional jazz musician? And they were all like, it sucks, right? They were like, the club owners are all cheats and liars. They fucking steal your tips. They promise you this, you don't get it. At the time, everyone's smoking up a storm. You come out of it barely able to breathe. There's no air circulation in the clubs. It just blows. And I was like, point taken. I'm out.
No, I'm done.
Yeah, I was talking to Thomas. I get to travel the world. I get to see all these things. Get to have a great event. He's in love with the romanticism.
Join the Peace Corps.
And so he's just like, well, what's going to happen? For example, if the U.S. gets into a scrap with China, and you get sent to Taiwan or Okinawa or South Korea to go fight the Chinese or the North Koreans, you say China would never fight us. I said, you're out of your mind. So China, unlike the United States, is a great power, is an ancient power. It's always been here.
It's locked and loaded for sure.
And I said, no, my father, your grandfather. So I told him, I said, if you ever doubted the Chinese resolve, a lot of people don't know this. Me and my dad actually got really close before he died. It's one of the greatest miracles I ever saw God perform in my life. He said, if you ever doubted the resolve of the Chinese, because he was at the Chosin Reservoir when the Chinese came across, just in their retreat back. He said, if you ever doubt their resolve, it takes a special kind of person to go in the human wave after wave, getting mowed down to the point where the barrel on your rifles were melting because you could not kill them fast enough. Yeah. He said, I don't know how you defeat a people like that. And there, towards the end of his life, I was talking with my dad. We were sitting at a McDonald's. And he loved to have his hotcakes and sausage. That was his go-to. Hotcakes and sausage with
same here. That's breakfast.
And we were sitting there talking. He's like, something, Robby? I said, what's that, Daddy? He said, I think I was fighting for the wrong side.
Wow.
Because there's only really two things, and both times it happened at a McDonald's. He didn't talk about the war very much. One of the reasons why he was such a drunk is because that was his way of just dealing with what it is that he saw. Because our country does not believe in providing health care or mental health care for its veterans. You are a discarded piece of issue. And the only time I ever saw him cry, we were sitting there at McDonald's, and he was wearing his Korean war hat, one of those Korean veteran hats. And this lady came up. She must have been around in her early 20s. And she came up to him, and this is in Pensacola, and she bowed, really like she bowed. And she said, may I give you a hug? Thank you for saving my country. She was a South Korean. And he broke down and started crying like a little. I never saw that before. He said, this woman who doesn't know me thanked me. My own government didn't. And that's what Thomas is signing up for.
More comments. FUSO, thanks for the $1. Following up, I decided that day looking down from the bridge that I was not going to punish myself. That's profound.
Good for you.
McCadden, Robby, it's hard to fight against how the U.S. venerates its military, but only 10 to 20% of Marines see combat. So hopefully your son will have the most boring military career. That's true. Effie, so Robby, suggest joining the Coast Guard and actually protect the homeland and be a patriot. And also you're keeping migrants out too, and drugs.
I told him to join ICE. Join ICE.
He was in the Coast Guard Reserves. I guess he still is.
Yeah, but you don't see the world joining ICE.
Well, no, listen, if you go to New York, you're seeing the world all in a nice condensed place.
My cousin, they sent him to Japan. I think he was hooking up with Japanese women. Chris was a horn dog. Japanese women are attractive.
There's worse things.
Elegance.
Okay, and then also, okay, Manchild. Hey, thanks for the $2. Hey, fellas, have you thought about merging Deprogram, TMI, and DMZ under one media flag? Maybe Jamarl's morning show wants to join the party. Strength through numbers. You already share audiences. I mean, yeah, there's been some discussion
because the show is like 9, 10, 11, right?
Yeah. So we could totally do like a 9 to 12 block, or 9 to 1 block, or we could do even a 7 to 1 block. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the pros and cons would be.
Well, I mean, the issue is I have my channel. This channel is separate.
Right.
I don't know how that block would work. I mean, because the moment that you move a channel, everything else goes with it. Like if I told my audience, hey guys, I'm going to be on JLT channel instead of Jamarl Thomas. Mm-hmm. I guarantee you the very next show is going to have like 50 people.
Right. Yeah, because people just know they just do the same thing all the time.
Yeah. I've done it before with YouTube. Let's say if like I ran into it with YouTube and they shut down the channel for like a week or two. And it's like, okay, I'm going to be on JLT. Nobody shows up. It might be like 100 people as opposed to 500 to 600.
That would not be good.
So I don't know how the link that would.
By the way, we have I think really good viewership for the show at this time of the day on a Monday. So right now, by the way, Manchild continued, create a unified brand through Patreon and YouTube. Rumble is a cesspool that doesn't pay out. You all can game this out. Yeah, we're doing the Patreon
channel.
Pardon?
You can join my channel. Mm-hmm. I mean, because the reality of it is, already half the subs, the people who would come on the channel, they will probably flow over, and you still get the audience.
We have subs too. We have 30, almost 30,000. We have over 30,000.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I don't know how to make that work. There has to be some way, unless, especially if we're using YouTube as opposed to Rumble. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, because at that point, it could be.
I think Rumble is on double secret probation right now. We're going to see, right, Robby? I mean, we're going to see how the next payout goes.
Well, as far Deprogram is viable because at least we have over 30 paid monthly subscribers. For my gaming channel, the way it's going to happen is, depending on Rumble's payouts, Putin by Gaming will not be streaming to Rumble anymore. It'll be exclusively over on YouTube next month. I just don't know, because splitting the audience doesn't make a lot of sense. And since I'm not going to be taking a salary from y'all anymore, at least not for the future, whatever to make up that loss is going to have to come from the gaming channel. So, and if YouTube pays more, then sorry, Rumble, I agree with your ideology, but if YouTube is going to pay the bills, and frankly, I already know YouTube is going to screw me.
But you know how.
But Rumble, though,
you know what the numbers are.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's just going to be what's going to be. I mean, it's just like, for example, it's hilarious. Before coming on the show, YouTube age restricted a video from Saturday, because in Mortal Kombat, this is hilarious. This is insane. I actually made a pickaxe post. I'll drop the link so y'all can read it. I included screenshots. Your boy has receipts. So I was using this character. Her name is Lime. It's a great fighting game. And so with Mortal Kombat, you can kill someone using what's called an animality. Well, her animality is that you become a panda and you kill the person and you eat them. And so the question I had is, first, is it cannibalism?
Vegetarians?
Well, pandas can eat meat. But the point is that the panda killed a vampire. Well, my character killed a vampire, became a panda, and then ate the vampire. So we had a really in-depth discussion on the gaming channel about, one, is it cannibalism if you are like a werewolf and you become, in this case, a werepanda, and eat a vampire. First, is that cannibalism? Second, would consuming the vampire kill the vampire? Because you're not driving a stake through it.
Is it a cosmetic change or full change?
It's a full, like you actually become a panda. And I'll send you the link. I'm ashamed, sir, that you did not watch that. But here's the point, though.
I mean, alive. It's still undead, but it's not gone.
But now here's the point. Here's what makes it funny. YouTube age restricted it, said that it showed self-mutilation and an eating disorder. First, the panda did not hurt itself. The panda hurt a vampire.
Right.
Second, the panda ate a vampire.
There's no self anything.
There's no feeding disorder. And so YouTube, being the YouTube Nazis that they are, they slapped this thing with it. And then I sent in an appeal, because naturally, why wouldn't you? So this obviously is not self-harm, because the panda's eating the vampire. That it's not eating itself. Second, there's no eating disorder here, because the panda's not starving itself. It's eating this vampire. And
Well,
the vampire is not made out of bamboo.
Overeating is an eating disorder too.
Maybe,
Or
but
eating things that are not normal to what the panda eats.
well, pandas do eat meat.
Like if I eat
they
dirt,
can.
they'll say, "Hey, he shouldn't be eating dirt. That's wrong. That's an eating disorder."
Well,
The point is that
vampire meat though.
But the point is that YouTube slapped the video with this. It's like, no, this is not graphic video game scripted violence. No, instead they try to get with self-harm and an eating disorder, which is insane. And that's the whole reason I went to Rumble in the first place 4 years ago, because you have to deal with this. And Rumble paid the bills.
I love logic like this. Scott.
It is insane.
My
Hold
co-host
to the link. Hold on.
My co-host on DMZ, Scott Stantis, he was on staff at the Chicago Tribune, and they have a policy against donating to political causes. You're not allowed to, donate to the Democratic Party or whatever. It's, you have to be an objective journalist. Anyway, he was donating money to the Epilepsy Foundation. And they called him on the carpet and said that they were going to fire him for donating money to a political interest. And I'm like, who's pro epilepsy?
Exactly.
Epilepsy is a political interest?
That's right. Big epilepsy.
That's a medical interest, not a political interest. Unless they're trying to say the medical, by definition, is a political thing because some people want healthcare and other people don't. That's so weird, though.
Yeah, so funny.
Like that, it's wild. They're going to send Robby a thing that says, "Well, we're against what is it called? What people eating people."
Cannibalism.
Cannibalism. We're against cannibalism. That's what they're going to say. This video is age restricted because it's cannibalism. Apologies for the other two.
But they didn't say cannibalism. They said.
I know. I'm saying that's going to be the next one that they say. They're going to apologize for the other two and send a cannibalism.
Because I appealed it.
Sensitive towards vampires.
It's hilarious. So here's what they got. Hi, Robby West. Looks like Mortal Kombat 1 isn't cannibalism if you're a panda. It's hilarious even reading this. May not be appropriate for younger audiences under our community guidelines. We placed an age restriction on it. What we found. Your content was age restricted because our community guidelines, content that discusses or depicts suicide or self-harm in a graphic nature or promotes eating disorders, may be removed or age restricted if it's not appropriate for all audiences. The appeal then that I made was that the vampire is but was defeated and is being eaten by a panda. There is no, it is not there. And someone just said, I don't have any faith in gaming channels, to which you should not, because gaming channels are fiction by their definition. You should never have faith in a gaming channel, ever. Like a panda would never eat a vampire. But the fact that YouTube, it's insane, because Rumble is literally pushing people like me over into the welcoming arms of YouTube with their moderation because of Big Vampire. Because they don't want to pay creators. It is insane to me.
That industrial complex.
That's a goddamn shame.
Hector, use the co-author video function on YouTube. That would be dope. What is that?
A co-author?
Co-author video function. Do you know anything about that?
I know what a collaboration is. I don't know what a co-author is.
Collaboration must be what they're talking about.
Okay, what is that?
Well, collaborate, like say, for example, if you and I do a show together. Let's say you come on my channel We do a show together at 8:00. And then at the end of it, I could say this was collab with Ted Rall, and Ted Rall is on this other channel.
And then what?
I have done that before.
And then
I don't know what it does.
What mechanically, what would be different?
I don't know. I think it shows at the bottom of the channel when you're doing videos.
Yeah.
Like, so say it'd be like live videos, and then at the very bottom, there's the collaborations.
Does it mean, do we then, does the feed go out to both channels at the same time, perhaps?
No, you could do that on StreamYard.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could say, like, for example, if I send you a link on StreamYard, if you accept the link, you can also add the link to DeProgram. So when we're doing the interview, it goes out to my channel and your channel simultaneously. It's like we did at election night.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. Well, all right. Do we make more money? That's what I want to know.
We can do that if you want. I mean, you're more than welcome to come tomorrow, and we can share it on both channels.
All right. We'll talk about
any donations that are given. If it goes on the program, it goes in the program. If it comes on mine, it comes on mine. Yeah, I've used it a few times. When I do the show with Garland, we use the shared link. And when I used to do the show with Nick on Sundays, we used to use the shared link.
You see, and bad cookies. Robby'd rather identify as a panda before identified as a woman, proving he's a misogynist. I would probably have to say sure with that, because I do live in bear country.
What?
And I definitely am not a woman. But still, the point, the original point of the stream is unanswered by YouTube.
That question is predicated on the assumption that you would be a male panda.
Right.
But by definition, I'd be a male panda.
That's right. You don't think so? Oh, Ted.
You could be a pandalette. You don't know. A panda.
I can assure you, my wife, she would vouch that I am definitely a male. A male
panda.
Yes.
That's right, Robby. Don't take no shit from them.
None at all. None at all.
All right.
You're going to do this.
You bring home the bamboo.
No, and this is a funner conversation talking about Thomas mortgaging his life for the U.S. Marine Corps. So I do appreciate this changing the conversation, especially since YouTube is just so. I cannot believe that Rumble is forcing me over onto YouTube because the economics suck so bad.
I don't fully understand what the hell Rumble is doing, to be honest.
Nobody does.
And you think that
Nobody does.
If anything, you need a decent pay structure where people would understand how they're getting paid. Otherwise, why would they be on the platform? I mean, like the people are using the platform for income. Mm-hmm. Rumble knows people are using the platform for income because they want more people on the platform in order to rival YouTube and some of the other ones. I mean, China has a new one out. What is it, Bill? Something like that. Yeah, they're fucking people over. Which is a no-no.
If they keep it up, we will have to leave Rumble. I mean, here.
Yeah, that's a no-no. I don't know what's in their minds where they think, hey, people are using this platform for their jobs and for their income, but we're not going to be clear in how we're accruing the revenue for it. And I mean, they're obviously making the revenue.
The less we're going to pay them.
Yeah, but no, one thing though, honestly, is as a thank you to the people who are watching either live or going to watch later. 5 people have gone over to the YouTube channel and have become subscribers. So seriously, thank you, because that's what it's going to take.
That's what we need. I mean, honestly, crunching the numbers, we need seriously at least we need a couple hundred subscribers over there. So we have a nice start for sure, but we need more.
Yeah.
All right. So thanks everyone. Thanks Robby. Thanks Jamarl.
Sorry for the downer show today, y'all.
It was fun, and
I thought it was interesting.
Invite Thomas on. Invite Thomas on. In all seriousness, he doesn't have to show his face. We can have him just audio only.
He's been on Team Up before.
Pardon?
Remember, you interviewed him on Team Up before. He's not shy.
All right. So, hey, do you want to bring and tell him Jamarl, are you okay with this? We can have him come on tomorrow, and we'll have an intervention.
Well, school starts tomorrow, and after school is when he's going to the recruiter's office.
I'm obviously for it, but that's going to be awkward as shit. I mean,
He's going to the recruiter's office to sign, or is he going to go to the recruiter's office to ask questions?
To sign.
Well, maybe it doesn't really matter if he asks questions because he's already committed to himself in his mind about, reality.
Oh, he's going to do it. So it's just a matter of either accepting the decision, even though I don't like it, and not blowing up the relationship with my son.
Yes.
or just say if you just put an ultimatum, either it's me or the Marine Corps, in which case I will lose.
Don't do that.
No, I'm not going to. He's just going to have to.
All I can, no matter what? I mean, it's a fucking retarded decision, but
all I can do is just keep loving him, and whenever he comes through this, hopefully he comes through a-okay, and he's able to build himself a future. Great. If he can't, then all I can do is just be there and help put it back together.
Supporting someone doesn't mean agreeing with their decisions.
True.
Kidnapping and take him where?
He's welcome to come on the show. Obviously, as Ted pointed out, it's not.
Yeah, but it's kind of pointless if he's already.
Yeah. I mean, because if every answer.
Also, once he does it, I actually don't want him to second guess himself after that. You know what I mean? Like once he signs. I'm not going to be talking shit about it.
When he signs the paperwork tomorrow, he cannot back out. When he on his 18th birthday, he goes to boot camp. Like he is no longer his own man.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
And so he's comfortable with that decision. And so all I can do is support it.
God bless him.
That's correct. I'm sorry. But you
That's
are
all
right.
you can do. He's an adult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well, with that pleasant news, we'll wrap up today's Q&A. We're going to be back tomorrow with Jamarl, 7 to 9 a.m. on his channel. Then at 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., DeProgram, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., TMI, when Manila will have returned. Okay. That's it. See you later. Bye.
Bye, y'all. Remember, pandas have eating disorders.